Okay, how is everybody's meals? We're running a little bit behind today, so I'm gonna just get started on the group mediumship reading, and hopefully you guys just don't choke. So it won't be the live experience, it'll be the unalive experience if you choke. So please don't do that. Okay, so we will still have your entrees coming out. Just bear with us. We're just running a little bit behind, but it'll be okay. I'm just going to get started on the mediumship. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what this is going to look like, what to expect, and then we'll just get started right into it. So I mostly work clairvoyantly as a medium, which means I'm going to be seeing signs, symbols, and really getting impressions from spirit. And I need to be able to interpret that. Now, sometimes I have a meaning for what they show me. If they show me, a flag, I know that maybe there was military service. Or if I, feel like a pressure on my chest, I maybe know that there was a heart issue or breathing issue. So there's things that I'm already going to kind of generally understand. And then there's times that I have no idea what they're talking about, like whatsoever. I had one the other day that they showed me a rubber duck and a lightning bolt. And I'm like looking at this spirit, like, I'm not saying that. And they're like, say it. I'm like, I'm not saying it. They said, say it. And I was like, fine, rubber duck and lightning bolt, what does that mean? And they were like, oh, well, on his little memorial thing, they put a rubber duck in his vape that had a lightning bolt on it. So it did make sense for them. I probably would have never known that if I hadn't said anything. So I will not always understand what they are saying. So please give me a little bit of grace there. Sometimes it's going to mean something to you. And then sometimes neither one of us might understand what it is initially. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily wrong. It just means either I am not interpreting it correctly, or we just can't think about what it is right on the spot. It does happen quite often. You're put right on the spot, can't think. You get home, you understand it. Or next week, you understand it. It happens all the time. I hear back from people daily. So if it's not making sense, I'm gonna just kind of put it on the back burner. I'm not gonna waste all of our time with it, and then we'll move on, and then I'm no doubt it'll come to you later. I can also hear things and feel things from spirit. A lot of times I will say the exact words that they are telling me. And then there's times that when it is a feeling, that's going to be when it's a little bit more complicated because I need to put the words to it. And what they make me feel, what they tell me, anything that they show me is never wrong, but I can misinterpret it. Any medium can. So if something doesn't sound right, we just need to figure out what else could it be within reason. If it is not reasonable, if it is not practical, I will not try to make it fit. I'd rather say I don't know than make something seem like a stretch. Now, I can't control who comes in. You might even be surprised who comes in. But since we're in such a big group setting, I need you to, if you think, even for just a minute, that it is your spirit, go ahead and let me know. This could be mine. Because it could be yours, it could be yours. But if you're just waiting for that next little piece of information, that energy's kind of getting stale and it's gonna be harder and harder. Once you decide that I think this is mine, I will keep going with it and keep getting them to tell me more and more, and then we'll figure it out from there. But yes, if you even think for a minute that it is your spirit, just raise your hand, say this could be mine, and even if there's multiple people, I will figure it out from there, I promise. And most likely, both of them are here. Every single person here today has a spirit with them. I just won't be able to connect with every single one of them. And you could have multiple spirits here, and it might not always be the one you're thinking of. So I need you to also stay open as to who could be here tonight, because sometimes it is that weird second cousin. Why am that person even here? But because maybe it's not always you that needed the message, but maybe your father who wasn't here needed the message, and you can relay that to them. So again, I don't always know why they bring up what they do. I have no control of that, but as long as it is accurate, as long as it's validating, and I will try and get as many messages brought in and as many spirits read as possible tonight. Now, I was going to say something else, and then I have a spirit already coming up, and I'm like, I'm not ready yet. You just wait a minute. Sometimes they come into me early, and I'm ready to roll. I'm writing things down. Nobody came to me early tonight. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be awkward if no spirit shows up tonight. But I already have somebody here coming in. So, we do, like I said earlier, need to trust that no matter who comes in tonight, they are all in God's white light, meaning that they are working on becoming better people. Nothing negative, nothing scary, nothing is allowed in this sacred space tonight. I will try to have as many spirits as possible. I will even try to have a brief minute that you might be able to ask them a question or two, and they will answer if it's within their means or within our best interest, really, to know. Let me see if I am missing anything. This is really important. Spirits can piggyback on each other. It happens even in a Teresa Caputo concert. It can happen. And that's basically when I'm talking to one spirit, let's say I'm talking to your spirit, and then I bring up something that doesn't sound like yours, but sounds like yours. And it's because there might be let's say 2 grandfathers are here, 2 fathers are here, whatever, and now I'm meeting them for the first time. I know they are different. But if I have 3 Idaho grandfathers here, they're really not that different on the surface level, trust me. I was like, great, they come in with cowboy boots, they're very patriotic. I mean, they had terrible blood pressure. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? So if it starts sounding like somebody else, or if it starts sounding like somebody for you, just let me know, because they can very often piggyback on each other within reason. If I'm talking to, a father here, and then all of a sudden you think it's your sister, okay, no, I can tell the difference between a father to a sister. So it's going to be within reason. Let me see if there's anything else before we get started. Okay, I think we're going to just get started with that. Okay, I have a few. There's a few spirits here. You guys are supposed to be ready. Okay, I'm going to start with the gentleman that is standing right here. There's a couple gentlemen up front, and then there's some scattered around. I need to be just going with the people that are closest to me, or the ones that are going to make their presence the most strongly known. So I have a gentleman right here. Now, typically, they're going to stand on the areas that belong to them. So it's almost going to be this section, maybe a little bit of this section, but generally speaking. But if it still sounds like for somebody over there, again, I can't control what they do. It's your family, not mine. So, but I'm going to try to focus on this gentleman here. Now, this gentleman this is going to be a father or father-like figure coming in. This is somebody who, even though he is older, he did very much die before his time. Older. Let's talk about what older means for a second. How do I say this respectfully? It's probably going to be somebody 50s or older. So, sorry, I need to try to put somewhat of a time frame on that. But that's still dying way before their time, is what I'm saying. They're not a kid by any means. They're not a young adult by any means. But they are not, I wouldn't consider dying of old age. He is standing right here. He is somebody who is very stubborn. He comes in and he's actually dressed nicely today. Idaho nice. Blue jeans, button up. Now, when I asked him what was happening towards the end of his life, he does press on my chest a little bit, meaning that there was some type of heart or breathing issues towards the very end of his life. He keeps pulling up to his eyes, though, or in this section, which means something wrong with the vision or lack of clarity at the very last moments of his life. He is a really good person, but I feel like he can be misunderstood. So not everybody's really going to click with him, but he is really a good person. Do you have an idea who this might be?
I do, yeah.
Sorry, you're going to put on the spotlight for a second. Okay, who would this be for you?
I had a really good friend whose dad passed away, hepatitis C, I think, because towards the end he
I don't even know what hepatitis C is.
Liver.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what that is. But that towards the end, he was having. Oh, his eye. Okay, so perfect. Not perfect for him, but perfect as in we understand that the vision that was off, the eyes that were off. He is a really good guy. He's a very proud person. He stands up straight, very Idaho bride kind of person. And he is in a good spot. He goes like this, which means I have my strength back. Meaning meaning that I'm sure I don't know I don't know anything about hepatitis C, but he's making me feel like his energy, his strength, everything was being diminished by the end. And it's honestly something that he did not like people having to see him that way. He's actually quite upset. People saw him that way. He is not the kind of person that wanted to be taken care of. Now he keeps bringing up, he's bringing up a couple things. This is your friend's father? Okay. So there might be some things you can validate, might be some things where you can't. We'll see where this goes. But first of all, he keeps bringing up cards. So if there's a memory with card games or gambling, sometimes is in there too. Do you know anything that would be validating for that?
Yeah, we would have like Thanksgiving parties together, our families would play cards.
Oh, okay, so constantly playing card games. So it's just a memory of his that he's bringing up to further validate who he is. He is talking about, he's talking about the guns. I don't keep talking about guns. It's not something that is really something that is widely known or talked about, but it has to do with something with him or his father and maybe his son. But there is some type of ownership of guns coming in there, and he's saying there is a purpose behind this. He's not just telling 80 people we have guns. Everybody has guns out here, let's be honest. He's actually very adamant about how they're being taken care of. Like he's a very smart, logical, practical kind of person, and he wants to make sure everything is done right with that. And he's also somebody's talking about selling one of them, and so it'll be something you can figure out later, and he just wants, he keeps bringing up like the code or the serial number. And there's some type of significance with that. So it's going to be something that you're going to have to pass on to them. But he wants everybody to know that he's doing great now. He said it was awful towards the end. It was interesting. I see kind of a Bible by the bedside, but there's some conflicting emotions about it. Faith, but then I don't know what's next, but then wanting to have faith, and there's definitely some conflicting emotions when it comes to his faith towards the end. He was always the kind of person that was very confident, very proud. I know, who I am, but there was fear at the end. There was fear, but he's okay now. He's in such a beautiful, better spot on the other side, and he just wants to send so much. So this is your friend's dad, you said. Is this your friend, guy or girl? Girl. Does he have a son?
Yeah.
He keeps talking about his son. Is it one or more than one?
He has 3.
3, okay. I need to figure out which one. I would hear some people like, I have 8 sons, and I need to figure out which one that is. So, sorry, I'm just saying I know culture. Okay. Now, I do ask spirits to keep, anything that we're talking about, people that are alive on a respectful scale, because we are in a group here. However, he is showing me that one of his sons has had a lot of major changes, and there's a lot of stress, a lot of weight being put on him, and he's not in the best clarity of mind in his life right now. He's going to be okay, but he keeps going like this, which means the sun is pushing, kind of keeping everybody at arm's distance. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Okay, you do. Yeah. So, he's being really stubborn, he just needs to get back over it, and he keeps pulling him over, but it's the sort of thing, it's going to take some time, but he says they can't give him distance right now. He's not granted that luxury, because he's not in a good enough spot in his life that we can't fully worry about him. Or not worry about him. So, just so you can relate to your friend or whoever that, yes, people need to be around him more. And it's going to be okay, it really is. But with that son, there's many things going on. There's some job-related stuff, there's a relationship. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but it is going to be okay. And there's even some really complicated related things with them and their dad. There's some really complicated things, and he's funny. He's like, it's just not the time and place for it. He's like, it will be one day. He's like, he's excited to be around the dinner table again this holiday with them. But he makes me feel like he's trying to pull them closer together because they feel too pulled apart from each other. So he is trying to bring all the family back together again. And he thanks you for allowing him to talk today, because I wouldn't have expected him to come in, but it is very important that he comes in to just relay that to your other person, because he even still sees you as part of his family. For him to come in means that there is love and connection even to you. So, okay, well, thank you so much for letting me connect with him. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm being pulled over to another gentleman. I'm just better not be like last night. I cannot do all men all night. I can't do this. I will lose my mind. Okay. I have another gentleman coming in right here. Again, somebody that died before their time. This is going to be somebody who is, again, father or very father-like. Okay, come on. If it's a stepfather, give me some slack, you know? Or if it's somebody that was like a father to you. So we're going to be father-like. Now, this is somebody who, oh gosh, he's a complicated individual, truly. Now, he is the kind of person that, he's not very open with his emotions, but I'm going to get in line. We're in Idaho. Let's see. Believe it or not, I've been in Idaho my whole life. I trash talk it lovingly, but I really have been here my whole life. Okay. I have a gentleman right here. You know, he is a father figure. He is a very, very complex individual. There is this very complicated feeling of him being around, him not being around. He keeps pulling up the distance of sometimes not even physically being there for his family. He does pull some energy up into my head, but in a different way. More of not being all the way there in the sense of he probably drank a little much, and it kind of skewed some things in his life. He is somebody who is a very proud person, but if he cannot fully understand people, he doesn't let people close. He is showing me something about being outdoors a lot. I think he has something with horses or some type of ranch. There is some type of connection into that. Do you know who this is? Who is this? Is this a dad? Your dad? Okay. You have a microphone. Yeah. So this is your father, correct? Yeah. Okay. He's a so I'm going to step back so we don't get interference. He's a complicated guy. He really is. I need to just figure out the words for a second. He feels like he is so close with you, loves you so much, but some of the other family does not feel nearly as close to him. You are like his baby in a way. Yeah. And that's no offense to the other family. It just feels like you had an extra tight connection with him. Do you understand respectfully any type of drinking or just not feeling like I'm in the strongest clarity of mind? Okay. So he is in a better spot now. He's like, oh shit, we gotta talk about that, you know? But you're the one who brought it up, Michelle. But he is in a much better spot now. But he knew that was a big part of his life. He did not want it to be a big part of his life, but it was anyway. But he's like, he just said, I have a whole list of things that I need to apologize for. And I'm sorry, I don't have time for the whole list. But the biggest one he says is he said he didn't feel like he was around enough for his family. Does this make sense to you? Yeah. And he's like, and honestly, it's interesting. He's like, I came in today in a setting that I am not comfortable with because I need you to know how sorry I am and how much I love you and how much I want to continue to be in your life. Do you understand the horses or the ranch or farm?
He's a water ranch.
Okay. That makes sense. But it's something that he's very closely connected to, even on the other side. He is still continuing to be be close to the horses, close to the ranch. It's something that actually brings him joy. He's the kind of person that loves to get up at like the butt crack of dawn, and just go out. Later in life, it wasn't like that though.
No.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because he just said in his own words, I didn't feel like myself for many, many years. And he's like, it's not anybody's fault. Even though we can see that, oh yes, there were some issues there, so there's some issues there with that person. Your mom, I'm guessing there were some issues with. But he still takes full responsibility. He really does. He has a grandchild, right? Because he keeps your brother, okay? Because he keeps talking about the grandchildren, and he doesn't know what to do around the grandchildren. So he tries, but he really wants to be around the grandchildren more. There's some complicated feelings between your brother and very, very complicated feelings that your father still wants to respect the distance of, I don't know if my son is quite ready to talk yet, but I'm going to be here when he is. He's going to be around the kids regardless, multiple kids, right? Two, perfect. So, and it's something he's very proud of. He loves watching them grow, and he's going to continue to just try to be the best person he can for the family again. And him coming in front of 80 people is big for him. He would have never done this in 1,000 years. He keeps turning on a CD he always used to listen to. Good God, I don't even know what it is. They can only show me what I have a general frame of reference for. If I have no idea what, the genre of music sounds like, or a certain day, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not singing it for you, no. So, but it is something that is very closely connected to him. Probably, I would assume, going into a classic rock or maybe a little bit of metal or rock in there. It's something that he really loves. Does this make sense?
I love metal.
I see. Okay, so then it's his way of acknowledging that he's been around you, because he keeps turning on the classic rock and metal music. I keep hearing that in the background. So if it's not something he listens to, then it's what you're listening to, him acknowledging that he's been with you, and constantly with you all the time.
I feel like that's the way he communicates.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. And he is validating that by bringing it up today. It's something that you've already felt, and he is now acknowledging that. So it's such a beautiful thing. I know, because I'm even seeing him. He drives in the car with you a lot. He's constantly in the car. Do you feel him in the car?
Every day.
Every day. Perfect. So, you might even see something with your dial moved or something in music or something changed. It's him. Don't worry about it. He loves to take drives with you. It is one of the best ways that he can bond and connect with you. He just said, he really likes talking about what's going on in your life, so I hope you're okay with me talking a little bit about what he's saying. I can tell him to shut up if you don't want me to say anything. Okay. Okay. He's talking about something in your life, and he goes to your head and he just said, you aren't crazy, or you were not crazy. It was real. This actually feels like this was a very serious thing, or a very big thing. And it felt like nobody, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna try and get there, but it feels like if he's saying that you're not crazy, it seems like nobody's quite giving you the time of day on it, or understanding. But then he just sweeps everything out of the way, it's okay now. He says, you're healthy now. Do you understand what he's talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you understand what he's talking about?
Yeah, I've been sick for the past year, and nobody believes me that I was sick. And I just recently
I'm out of surgery and I'm getting healthy again, but nobody believed me. Everything that was going on with me, I felt crazy.
Yeah. And he shows me that this entire time he was holding your hand and telling you, you are not crazy. You are not crazy. And he says, and we're going to get through this. And honestly, he says you're healthy now. So I sure hope you're healthy now, or at least you're on the rebound now. Are you doing much better?
I'm going, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I kind of got a diagnosis, so.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. And it's something, no offense, it's unusual. It is very unusual, especially for somebody as young as you. So no wonder why. I'm not saying people should have believed you, but they did because you just weren't the prime candidate for whatever this was. It was very, very unusual for somebody your age to deal with that. But he says, we're on the rebound now. You know, he always is just right next to you. You know, if he's not holding your hand, he has like your hand right, or his hand right on your shoulder. You can just feel that squeeze. It doesn't bother. That's what he always used to do. Beautiful, beautiful. So him further acknowledging how he's still connected into your life. So, and he's going to be with you on the drive home today too. So, if nothing else, to just like, slow down, watch out. He's kind of a little bit of a side seat driver, so he's all tense, you know. So, but he's so funny. He's like, I just don't want to get killed is all. He's like, holding on. I'm sure you're a fine driver, so I don't know what he's talking about. So.
He's very old-fashioned, go slow, you know.
No, yeah, that makes sense. He's like holding on, and I'm like, what is going on with you? Okay. Do you have any quick questions for him?
I want to feel okay.
Yeah.
Am I gonna live?
Yes. Yes. He makes me feel like he's going to be with you the entire way. Now, he does need you to know you're not over with this. He shows me we're right here. There is going to be a dip, but then we're going to come back up. And he does not want you, because he's like, keeps saying, you overthink things. You know, I don't know what else to say. You overthink things. He's like, please, you need to be able to keep your mind in a good spot. He's like, because once you get to an area in your mind that you feel like this is just all over, it's getting worse, oh no, he's like, you will get worse. He's like, your stress levels, no offense, you got some anxiety in your life.
Oh, yeah.
So it is the sort of thing that it will affect your health. So sorry to go into your health in this setting, but it is something that he really wanted me to talk about tonight. But he wants you to know that he's going to be with you the whole time. You're not quite over with it yet. And it's okay if there's a little bit of that, as long as it's getting better overall. The biggest thing was the acknowledgement. So, and he sits down with you and he's like, let's create a plan. He's a planner. You know, he's like, let's have a plan. Bullet pointed. I'm like, you're not a planner. Don't fake it. It's like, you drank way too much. You were not a planner. So what? But he is in a beautiful spot now, and he's with you quite often. Now, your brother is not the only sibling, is it? There's a girl he's talking about. Now, I don't always know where this. They'll show me somebody, and it's very abstract, and I see a general age, and then I need to try to figure out where this is placed with you. To me, it feels like it would be somebody like a sibling or like a sibling, but it would be a general equivalent to you in like
An age.
roughly. So, do you know who he's talking about?
We have his best friend that we grew up with. His daughter is my age. We grew all the way up together. I'm like 2 months older than him.
Okay, because it feels like it's like a daughter, but I'm like, I don't know if it is a daughter though. So it's like a daughter.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together.
Has it been a minute since you guys have talked? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, years.
Yeah.
decades.
There's going to be something that either comes up that they're going to reach out to you, you're going to reach out to them, I don't know, but it's probably going to be in the next couple of weeks. I'm really bad with timing though. So I'm really bad with timing, but it's going to, like he's saying that there's going to be something that you guys are reconnecting again. So it's not going to be under the most beautiful of circumstances, but it's actually going to be building a stronger and healthier bond, that you guys are actually going to be there for each other more, even after all of this time. It's such an odd thing, but he's planned it that way because he wants to make sure that you have this person again. So it just feels like there was some issue, and I don't quite know the details with it, but there was some issue that you had with this person, or they had with you many, many years ago, and he's like, it's water under the bridge now, you know? It's gonna be completely forgotten about, and you guys are gonna get to be close again. So something to kind of keep an eye out for and be very mindful of. Okay, you done, Dad? He's like, don't rush me. And I was like, I'm sorry, I have like 80 spirits in here. You're number 2. So, okay. I don't know what this is, but he keeps going like this. You don't got a halo around your head, I know that. I don't know what this is.
My dad was a head injury. He
Oh.
had an accident. He was treated in Redmond.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. So, okay. He just wanted you to know because he keeps doing that, and he said nothing could have really been done. So, after the fact, obviously. So, he's
He
like,
was
look,
at home for a long time, but we didn't know if he was gonna
yeah.
be back or what was gonna
Yeah.
happen.
I'm sorry to hear that, but he is in a beautiful spot now. He is truly at peace. He likes to watch over his land on the other side. He's real proud of it. He's constantly with you and your siblings. So thank you again for letting me connect with him tonight, and know that he is going to be on the ride home tonight. So drive responsibly, no more drinks. So, okay. Okay, I'm being pulled back here. How far back, Spirit? Okay, she's about right in here. Now, obviously, there's give or take, you know, it's a general area. Now, this is going to be somebody who is actually an older woman coming in, but she is bringing a younger gentleman in with her. She's making sure that this kid comes in. It's not like, I don't know how old he is yet, but I'm just gonna say kid, you know, but that he is here tonight. She's not gonna let him not come in. But he's a little bit like, I don't wanna come in. You know, she wasn't gonna allow it. Now this is going to be somebody, the older woman is, again, based off of, she is a mother, but she's also a grandmother. I don't know what she is for you. You know, because that's going to vary based off of your age. She is quite a direct, feisty lady. I'm like over there trying to and she's like, you know, like I'm next. She's just like calling me over, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to say no to her. I'm not saying no to her. She will hunt me down. And now, but she's very put together today. You know, she is somebody who always wanted to appear nicely. You know, it's a special event. Of course, she's gonna be nice. She has her nails done. She has her hair nicely, but it's also how she wants to be remembered, making me assume that towards the end of her life, she was not really doing very well, even in the physical aspects. You know, this is something illness related, but she's upset that that she's being seen the way it is. I'm seeing that there's a lot of sitting down, a lot of bed rest. It's something that is quite upsetting for her. She's very opinionated, very feisty. You know, she's a really nice lady. She is. You know, you think this is yours? So.
Well, you said those some words in a lot and that's how she first.
On the what?
She's like here, she's like right here.
Yeah.
She lets you know.
Okay. And who would this be for you?
My mom.
Your mother. Okay. Okay. There's a couple spirits here. So okay. So I have your mother here. Okay. She's kind of. I need to figure out words to describe people, okay? respectfully. So, I mean, how else am I supposed to say? You were stubborn, you were cranky, like what am I like? She was loving and nurturing too though. There's many attributes, but immediately she has her arms folded like, how dare you have made me wait this long, Now, she does have a younger gentleman on the other side with her that she's pulling close. This is somebody who passed before his time, and it would be somebody that she would know or be relative to. Do you know who she's talking about?
I just found out my big sister that was killed actually had a miscarriage of a son we never knew. My niece nephew.
I'm not saying no, but I don't think it's a miscarriage. It's something else, because typically when miscarriages come into me, they come in with a different type of like aura, because they haven't been plagued by our earth yet, and he doesn't. He feels like he's actually more like probably 20s, 30s-ish. He hangs his head down a little bit, which is my symbol for there's a little bit of shame or guilt connected to the way he passed.
That's right.
And did they know each other?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a cousin's son who was the child.
Okay. So she has him on a short leash, even on the other side. She's actually, respectfully, she was quite upset with him because she's like, the amount of grief, the amount of problems that he caused. And he's in a good spot now, but she shows me like a broom, like we are still cleaning up issues after what happened. Does this make sense? And respectfully, he had a lot of downfalls in this life, a lot of downfalls. And he's going to be making it up for many, many years. He just said, and he lifted his head up briefly and he said, I hurt people I shouldn't have.
Yes. And caused a lot of anger and a lot of state in the family, but in pretty bad.
And it's not just in an emotional way, it really feels like it's in a physical way too. Does this make sense?
Okay, it's all off the whole way.
Yeah. And for him to come in today, we do need to be able to recognize that he is still in God's white light and that he is working on becoming a better person. But he just acknowledged that he is going to be spending a lot of time trying to right his wrongs. So I'm not going to get too deep into him because it's not cool. It's a little bit deeper and a little bit.
I understand.
I don't quite want to get into that here tonight, but know that he is. You get it. It's your family. But he is going to be working overtime, especially for the younger girl that he hurt.
As long as God is able and the communities.
So it's amazing what God can do. So now was this your mother that we were talking to?
She's the one that had the food for the last time to come through, but this is her.
Yeah, okay, so your mother is
Yeah.
you have a lot of family on the other side, and she's very much up. She wants to like other families coming in, and she's like, no, you're not allowed to come in. No, you're not allowed to come in. She is like really, she is like very like taking point in the family. Like you can't tell her no.
She is an nature.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, this was definitely, no doubt, illness towards the end of her life. She's coming in, and she just says that she wants to be remembered in a more fond way than how it was. She's like, there's too much issues, there's too much scandal with what happened towards the end of her life. And she's like, yeah. So, I always like a little bit of drama. I really do. So I like to say, they say, drama is such a low frequency thing. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm not spreading it, I'm just listening to it. So does that count? But she keeps Now the family's spread out in many states, I see. She keeps pushing people like out in other states. And, but she pulls everybody in briefly for a very special occasion, which is the family came together for a special occasion or will be coming together for a special occasion. Did this happen recently? Probably in the last couple of months or so. They're not all family. We have big families, I get it, you know,
last couple
but.
months ago, no, I know is that Dad and Julie died within 2 years, within a year of each other. And so it would have been maybe a memorial that the girls can have, but we're separated. So.
That's not it. She keeps saying people came together. It's like there was a birthday or there was a, you know, graduation or some type of celebration.
Skylar's going to turn 18 next month, but there wasn't anything before that I knew of.
Is there anything coming up very soon? Because they can do.
Skylar's birthday's on Friday.
Oh, okay, then yes, because I'm like, it's something of celebratory nature, birthdays, graduations, things like that, and it's coming up very soon or very recently. There's give or take a little bit. Time works differently on the other side. So it's her way of acknowledging, and this is her daughter?
This is her granddaughter.
Granddaughter, okay. So it is her acknowledging that she's going to be around, that family's going to be coming together, and I don't know what that means, but she just shows me like cracking a walnut. I don't know what that means. It feels more symbolic, unless you guys just really love walnuts.
Well, the family's cracked in half, so I'm not going to be able to celebrate.
Oh, because I'm like, this is definitely symbolic, unless you guys really loved walnuts. You know, I think like this is definitely more symbolic. So yeah, so family cracked in half then, and she's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And she wants you to know that she's still watching out and over the situation. And she's like, don't you be worrying about it any longer. She's actually quite adamant about it. Don't you be worrying about it any longer right now. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for letting me connect with them tonight. I have another woman right here. Is similar, a little different. She's not very tall, but she's a big personality. So, and it is still mother or mother-like. She also points on a calendar, which means a day connected to her very recently or coming up very soon. Birthdays, passings, anniversaries are the typical things. And she keeps talking about the younger gentleman. I think it's like a son or maybe it's a grandson, I don't know, but she keeps talking about, I'll get to that. I'll get more details on that in a minute. Do we know who this is? Do you have an idea who this is?
Could be close with her. It's not a grandson, it's her husband that she loves.
Oh, okay. I would count that. I had a mediumship reading once that I was like, I really think it's your father. And she's like, it's not. I was like, he really seems like he's the age that would be your father. She's like, it's my husband. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So there was like a 25-year age difference. I'm sorry, that's a big gap. But okay, so, and this is somebody that she says I'm very close with, and she goes like this. Is this person passed as well?
Yes.
Okay, so when they go like that, it means I'm with them on the other side, acknowledging that he is safe as well. You know, and yes, big age gap. I would give myself a little bit of grace, you know, that it might seem like somebody quite a bit younger. She is, first of all, good for you for getting somebody younger. I was like, good for you. So, and you know, even though she comes to me as older, I still see him as kind of coming in younger, and she is okay with that. She's very put together today. She wants to be remembered a very specific way. I like her, I do. She was not everybody's cup of tea, respectfully. So she is like, you connect with her or you didn't, you know? Was she, it's interesting because there's areas of her life that are very traditional and then areas that, it's not really traditional, like, or you just kind of, but then very traditional and then, okay, well, you're cheating a little bit, that's not too traditional, that's not very religious of you. So there's a couple of things and she looks at me like, oh, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, you know? She's like, I'm fine now, I made it. So clearly wasn't that big big of a deal. So now, the biggest thing she keeps showing me is all of her clothes. Was there a lot, or were they very memorable?
Oh my God, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what to do with all of her clothes. Was this a conversation or an issue? Like, what do we do with all of this?
It wasn't a conversation, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right on.
Yeah. She's funny, and she's like, there's some good pieces in there. So it's like, you don't need to tell me to tell her. So, and she's like, I'm telling you to tell her. She's funny.
You don't need to tell me that.
She knows. She's funny. No, she doesn't, or she wouldn't have gotten rid of some of them. And I was like, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, it is funny. There is a couple, you did keep some pieces though. Nothing? Oh shit, I'm sorry. She's gonna haunt you the rest of forever. Yeah. Because she keeps showing me, sorry, that interference, a necklace that she wanted you to have. Do you know what she's talking about?
I already have it.
Oh, you do have it. Okay, because she's like, okay, that makes sense. Because I was confused because she said that there was still a piece of clothing or that you had, and I was like, oh, clearly not. She's like, no, the necklace. And she's like, and that was so important for her, and she's so happy that you get to hold on to that, because when I feel that necklace, I still feel her. So, and she wants you to know that that is still, when you feel her, when you hold that, when you see it and you think of her, she is there in those exact moments. So, even if it's just telling you what to do. So, and even like how to like take care of things, how to do things. She's, yeah, you know, that's not how you're supposed to press the clothing. That's not right. This is how you're supposed to hang it. This is what you're supposed to do. You know, she's very like, yeah, even on the other side, she still does that to you on a regular basis. So you might even like, I can hear her whispering in your ear quite often. So you literally might hear or feel, I just feel my nose itch. There's this very unique scent that you will remember from her. Very, very unique scent. This is typically like perfumes or things like that. Sometimes cigarette smoke, you know what it is, one of those. So. Yes, yeah, okay, perfect. Really, it was cigarettes? Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, she hasn't stopped that habit even so, but she does it in a classy way. She pulls it out of her cute little purse. You know?
She used to carry her own little ashtray to put the ashtray.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny. So I'll have you pick up the microphone just so it's not quite as, yeah. That is funny, yeah.
I had to go to the microphone.
No, you're fine. So yeah, she like smokes in a very classy way, yeah. You know, has a little purse, it has a little ashtray with her, everything like that. Because, I mean, she still has some pride. She's not just gonna throw it out in the street. I mean,
That's the biggest pet peeve.
I know. She thinks it's trashy. She thinks it's just like, come on, like, if we're gonna smoke, just have some dignity with it. Like, yeah. She's a hoot. She really is. Did I ask you who the gentleman was? Oh, that was her husband. Yeah. He's a lot more quiet. She's definitely taking charge in this whole conversation here, and she just kind of dragged him in today. So, this isn't your father, is it?
No,
Okay.
this is a very close friend.
Okay, because I'm like, it doesn't. Close friend. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no relation, but
Yeah.
she always called me the little sister she never had.
I see. So that makes sense because he doesn't really have as much to talk to you about, and that doesn't mean he doesn't love and care. It's just there's not quite the same type of bond through there. She is talking about your actual father for a second, though. And she's talking about military influence. Does this make sense?
I probably did.
Okay. Is he passed now?
Yes.
She's funny. He wants to come in, but she's making him wait. She said, I waited on you enough in this life. You can wait for me for a second. What was that?
She didn't know her.
Oh, really? Wow. That is interesting because there's definitely some distance between them right now. And she's like, you can wait. You can wait. So she's very type A personality, but you already know that. So, but she's in a very beautiful spot now. Your father's going to come in briefly. I don't think we're going to spend too much time with him, but she wants you to know that she's looking out for you, that she's feeling better. She wants you to know that, she just said, I need you to know I walk by your side often. So, and then she's like, I'm so proud of who you've become. And she's like, and she just said, and I'm sorry I didn't say that enough. So, she just said she loves you to the moon and back. Ooh, I got the chills. Got the chills. Okay. So I need to get a drink. Okay. Well, not yet. So your dad's briefly coming in just for a hot second. He comes up. He seems like he passed before his time. He's not coming in as a very old person. And I don't know if that's just how he's wanting to come across, or I don't know why. But he's coming in and he just said in his own words, I didn't know for the longest time. He's like, but there was something in him that felt like he should have done more. He knew he needed to do more. And I don't know what it is. Did he know about you guys?
Did he know about me and my friend?
Yeah.
As far as, he probably knew that we worked together.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Because he makes me feel like there's such distance, not just between him and his mom, but him and his wife, but he's distant really from a lot of the family. It feels like he's just not, I feel like I'm learning more about him in the later years than earlier. And he's a little bit more serious. He's not a very chatty person, but he comes over to you and he just kind of says, I got you, and I'll still be around. So there's some family history stuff you need to know about him. I don't know what it is. Well, that'd be important. If you're going to bring it up, let me know what it is. But it is, he keeps showing me family history. I would think it would have to be something medical, but it's not. It's almost like he's bringing up genealogy in a way. Has there been something with genealogy that has been very prominent in your life, or something that you would understand this?
Not with me, but that was something that he did.
Oh, that was something he did. Okay, that makes sense, because he keeps showing the genealogy. Okay, that makes sense. So just him further acknowledging who he is and what was a part of his life as well. So he didn't want to come in for long. He just wanted to say, that he sees you now and he's around, and that he's going to continue to be around. So thank you for letting me contact him. Back at it. No rest for the wicked. Okay, I'm coming over here. There is a young gentleman here who passed away before his time. This is the sort of thing. He pulls a lot of energy up to his head, which means he was not in the right clarity of mind towards the end of his life, and then he brings his head down, which is again my sign for guilt, shame. He just said, it doesn't seem like everything added up, and I'm sorry for that. I keep seeing question marks, which means we're not fully understanding how it happened the way it did. and I keep seeing fingers being pointed around. It feels like there is the feeling of maybe something that could have been self-inflicted, or something in question of self-inflicted. Do you know who this is? Okay. Who would this be for you? Somebody that you dated, you said? Okay. He's a funny guy. He's like, look at her. he's like such a goofy person. He is so funny. He's also a little bit reckless. And he does acknowledge, he's like, he just said, I was not in the best clarity of mind in my life. And I acknowledge that. And honestly, respectfully, it feels like he might have been under the influence of something. And do you understand this? But it doesn't feel 100% intentional. I'm not saying that it almost lines up that, hey, you are in not a great spot mentally, this happened, it lines up that it would almost make, okay, this makes sense, but it doesn't quite make sense. And while there is a lot of guilt and shame from what he did, he needs you to know he did not know what he was doing at the time. This does not seem like it was something he planned and planned and planned and planned. It seems like a very terrible lapse of judgment moment. But it doesn't seem that way, he said. And he's like, but I need her to know it was. Because he's like, I had plans in life. He was some hot shot, thinking that he was gonna set the world on fire, and he's like, I had plans. He comes from quite a complicated family background, and he has a lot of love for them, but he's like, it was almost best if I could step away from the family for a minute. Not you, like his family's come from. There was just a lot of chaos with it, a lot of being things misunderstood. Yeah, and why does he keep pointing fingers? Who is blaming somebody? There's some type of blame being put on. Okay. So he just takes a big weight off of you, and he says, it is nobody's fault. I mean this respectfully. He was in some trouble. Did you know he was in some trouble?
Yeah.
So.
I waited for a minute, and I learned.
Yeah.
Slowly as he faded, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in trouble.
Yeah. And that was a factor in his passing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he's like, I was trying to do better. I really was. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but really in his heart, he did want to do better. He wanted to be around better people. He wanted to have the more positive influence. He just kept getting caught back into the loop over and over again.
I get it.
Does he have a sister?
He does, he has two.
Is there one that's younger?
Niece.
Niece, okay, because I see one that's coming in younger.
Yes, way younger.
So, yeah, way younger. That's somebody he is around very often. He protects them a lot. Yeah. And that doesn't mean he doesn't love the rest of the family.
Yeah.
But listen, he just said family's a shit show. So he loves them. Yeah, he does. But he's like, he needs to be able to be around the people he loves as well. So while he's still around his family, when he's around his family, he's trying to help his family in any ways he can. When he is around his niece, it is just, he can just be, Yeah, it is just pure happiness. You've been with people since?
Yeah.
Are you with somebody right now?
Huh?
Are you with somebody right now?
Yes, my
Yeah.
friend.
All right.
Yeah.
In a romantic way.
Yes, I'm married.
Okay, yes. So, because he's like, yeah, he's fine. Do you have kids?
I do.
Okay. Because that is this thing that he said, you have made yourself a beautiful, beautiful mother.
I do.
And he's like, if it couldn't have been with me, this is a great second choice. So, he is around your kids very often as I'm gonna be honest, he's not a good influence.
No.
So, not whatsoever. Like, even when he's around your kids, like, you think it's gonna be like, oh, beautiful guiding light, let me just, no. He's like, do it. He's such a bad influence to them. But at the end of the day, he is very protective over them as well. He needs you to know he was never going to lead them in an area of harm, especially in any ways that afflicted him in his life. He's very serious about keeping them on a good spot. But when it comes to, being reckless, being like getting in trouble in light ways,
Not the ways he was.
yeah, not the ways he is. Like
Yes.
he would never lead them to that. But he just kind of nudges them on. So do it. So, and he likes to have them do things that irritate you.
Of course.
So, yeah. But he does watch over them. He is a guardian angel for them on the other side. So even though you guys did not work out in this life, he is okay with that because he is still part of your life regardless. So, he keeps saying, no, I hate when they do this. Okay. There's another energy in the house or place that you're staying right now. He is around, but there's another energy. I don't know if it's a completely love light, it's just grandma. I don't know what it is. It could be a straggling spirit, it could just be, I don't know what it is. But he says, it's something that we need to get out. Because he's like, it's getting more tired for him to constantly protect and keep the energy sacred. So it's in an area, I keep seeing a computer, so anywhere that there is a computer or a screen. So if that's where the laptop is, do people even have home computers anymore? Home computer, anything like that, it's somewhere surrounding there. And whatever it is, and I know some people are getting into this stuff, it causes more frustrations and irritation in the house. Like people just get more short with each other. They get more irritated easily. Even if it's one of your kids, like where the heck did that come from?
Yeah.
So go pick up some sage, and smoke the place out. Don't forget to open some windows, put out the sage. I mean, I don't need your house burnt down, although you wouldn't have any issues if you didn't have a house. So it's all gone there. So, but yes, make sure that you're kind of keeping the energy clear in there because, do you have a son?
No.
Okay. There is a young boy that's going to be more and more in your life here coming up soon. Are you having another kid? Or do you plan on having another kid? Okay. Okay. Because he keeps saying, there is a son around you. There is a son around you. So I don't know if that is the miscarriage or if that is something coming in. Because that is the exact words that he's telling me.
Okay.
But I honestly will not be surprised if you have another kid. So, and you will have to send me let me know. So let me know when you do, because I almost have no doubt in my mind that there will be a young boy in your life. So whether that is coming in biologically yours, or if it is going to be somebody that sees you as a parent, no doubt in my mind.
Okay.
So, and mediums can be very rarely 100% sure, but I'm almost 100% sure on that. So, you let me know when you're pregnant. So, you should probably even pick up a test on the way home. So, and he's like, she doesn't think it's gonna happen, because you're trying, and then like, on IUD or whatever, he's like, that doesn't matter. That does not matter. So when they come in regardless. So, okay. Did you have any quick questions for him? Yeah, you are. So, you can't help but just poke and prod and make fun of, so just hang in there for a second. So, it's like, he's funny. He's like, yeah, you're doing great. You do a little less spending, He's like, reel that in for a second. Just like, I'm getting my hair done, getting my nails done. It's just the nice things, But I don't blame you. I do it too. But he thinks everything's going to be really good. There's going to be something coming up again, if not recently, then very soon, about a relocation. You're going to be moving. It might not be a great distance. It could maybe just be out down the street or something. But he wants you to be out on the lookout for that. So you're going to be excited about it. Your partner's not going to be excited about it. He's like, just do it anyway. He's the kind of person, just don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness after. So, questionable, but, whatever, you know him. So, okay, well, thank you so much for letting me connect with him tonight. Let me see who else. There's just never enough time for all the spirits in here. So let me see what else I can connect. Some of them are already leaving just because they know I'm not going to be able to connect with all of them. Let me see if I can squeeze. I want to be able to squeeze one more in. Somebody over here. She was like, over here. Okay, I'm coming over here. So, do we already know who this is? That would be waving me down. Over here. So, okay, now this is going to be somebody who I'm going to have a hard time describing who it is for. You guys are all together? Okay, are you all related or friends? All related? Okay, that makes my life easy. I had this one group reading that I did once, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, listen, and it was like, this woman I was talking to, I was like, listen, your mom says that your daughter, she's in the pits right now. Her life is a mess. There's this going on and this going on, and I'm looking at the person next to her, and she's nodding. I'm like, that's the daughter we were talking about. And she was like, yep, agreeing with everything. Like, yeah, my life is just awful right now, So I'm like, and I did not know that's who we were talking about. So I always have to feel out who's here tonight. I'm going to have a hard time describing what the relationship is because I don't quite know, but she's a funny lady and she makes sure that she was going to wave me down. She was like, if you had to do anybody at the end, it was going to be me. She keeps moving her hands, which means she always stays very busy, very, very busy with her hands. I see her constantly doing things. She did not like having idle hands at all. But it's interesting because towards the end, she's going like this, which means something is not working right with her hands or her mobility. It's not working right. She's a funny person. She's like, these four together? Ugh. Do we know who this is? So it would be your mother?
My sister.
Sister.
My mom.
Grandma.
Okay, that's why I can't tell who it is, because I'm like, if I said it's your guys' mom, well, that's only partially true. So, okay. Okay, I know. So, sister, mother, or whatever, so, grandmother, she made it all. She's interesting. She's like, you know what? I was really lucky to have everybody around that I could have. She's like, not everybody gets that. And she's like, so thank you for being around towards the end. So that's not really how she wants to be remembered, but she's very thankful that her family was able to be around. She's funny, and she's like, and you will not believe it, they all got along fairly well. Fairly well, and she's like, she's funny, she's like, no, there's some other family members that can't be here tonight, obviously, but she makes me feel like, who is the gentleman that would have been having a very, very tough time? He feels like he kind of takes a step back a little bit from the family, kind of represses a lot of the feelings, but we really struggle with her passing. Do you know who she's talking about?
My husband.
He's still around?
Yeah.
Despite his exterior persona, whatever, it hurt him a lot more than it seemed. And she just wants us to know to never quite look past what it might seem. Just because he doesn't talk about it much doesn't mean that it wouldn't affect him deeply. So, she keeps showing me this puzzle. What is the puzzle? Sorry. And it doesn't seem like it's finished. I don't know what it is. Is there any puzzles? It's very specific. It's a puzzle. Or if she did anything that would look like a puzzle, I would count that too. No idea what she's talking about? Yeah. Yeah, she keeps talking about the puzzle, and then I keep seeing like she can't find the damn piece. She's funny because she's cute, she's traditional, and then she's like, well, damn it all. And even when she's frustrated, it's just this frustration. You'll figure out what the puzzle is. I'm not going to spend all of my time on it, because I told her, listen, you'll figure it out. But she keeps showing me, she takes me out to the garden, and she's like, I always wanted to do more of the garden. I know. It's funny because I see her I was like, oh, you're a gardener. She's like, well, always wanted to do more with the garden. So always. Yeah. She had all the grand ideas to do with the garden. It just happened. Her life was busy, and she couldn't keep up with it. So she did a lot on her own. She really did. But she's in a good spot now. She wasn't going to take all the time, but she's going to be around during the holidays coming up very soon, and she wants you to make that dish that she would have always made. Do you know what she's talking about? It's something that is odd. It's something that is, it's her thing, and everybody's like, oh no, this again. But it is something that it is her, and she's gonna be around. She really is. So she really sends lots of love your way. I wish I could spend a little bit more time, but I really try to squeeze her in right at the very end. But know that she is around. She does love you guys, and she goes like this, like I have my strength back. So, and she's really happy to be right where she's at in life. So, and she's so happy to see everybody still here together. She's really proud of the strong women in her family. Because she's like, we have not had it easy. But we always it's a strong matriarch you guys have going on too. So she's funny. She's like, the guys, they think they're in charge. That's how we let it be. So. She's like, but we are the ones who are really doing everything. So she's funny. She really is around all of your guys' lives in a really big extent. And Yeah, very beautiful, very beautiful. Well, thank you so much for letting me connect with her tonight as well. So, okay. Even if I did not get to connect with, somebody's loved ones here tonight, I mean, there are so many. It does not mean that they are not around. There's just only so many I can connect to in this brief period of time. So what you can do even when you go home tonight is ask for a sign or symbol from Spirit, whatever that may be. Ask, if a butterfly was very symbolic, ask for a butterfly. Now, we are kind of in October, basically, so not a literal butterfly. Although if you saw a literal butterfly in winter, that is a sign, But it could just be you see a butterfly bumper sticker on the way home, or the next song on the radio singing about butterflies, or you randomly get butterflies on your stomach. This is how they talk to us on an everyday basis, through our feelings, through our senses. When you smell, like your mom again, that is her coming in. When you get the feeling of, what, grandfather felt like when you always stood next to him, you randomly get that feeling, that is him in that exact moment coming in. We just need to be able to take a minute to calm our busy lives and be able to just listen for a minute. How are they supposed to talk to us when we're not listening? So you can pray, which is beautiful, that is talking to them, that's asking, but then taking, even if it's just 5 minutes out of your day of silence, is being able to listen. How are they supposed to talk back if you're not listening? So make sure that you thank them tonight. Even if you did not get to communicate with one, doesn't mean that they're not here, so still thank them anyway. Gratitude is very, very important. It's a very high frequency type of act. And I appreciate everybody letting me connect with them tonight. It is such an honor and a privilege that I really get to be in their energy, and I get to do this for you. So thank you for letting me do that for you. Make sure that you take it easy with the rest of the night, because even if you did not receive a message today, your energy is still being used. Everybody's energy gets used to bring in, the spirits here tonight. It's your love and connection that brings them in. I mean, I could try to talk to them on my own, but it would be quite sketchy. It's really your love and connection that brings them in. So that being said, that can drain your energy, even if you didn't receive a reading tonight. So make sure that you take it easy, stay hydrated with water. I see how many drinks some of you guys have. Flush it out with water, and rest as you can, and anything that didn't make sense, or sometimes even that you might even go home and you're like, man, that message also felt like it was for me as well. That is a thing. There can be one spirit that provides a message for multiple people. So if you felt like something still really resonated with you, that is a way that maybe your mother just talked to this mother and wanted to have another thing relayed that you would connect with as well. They do a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't always see or understand. So I appreciate you all coming in tonight. Thank you. Drive safe tonight, because again, not only you're drinking, but also the energy can also kind of keep your mind out of it for a second. So letting the energy settle, pay attention on the road, things like that. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And you really have a great rest of your night.